Hello everyone, it's thomasjujube, and welcome to the Desire Grand Prix. The newest entry in the Kamen Rider franchise has started with one of the craziest premieres ever. Since Kamen Rider Geats was announced, it's been one of my most anticipated seasons of Kamen Rider, and this first episode definitely delivered on a lot of my hopes, and also had a lot of surprises that have just gotten me so much more excited for the future, and I'm gonna talk all about that today. Keep in mind that I do a lot of Kamen Rider videos like this. I just recently did a season review of Kamen Rider Revice. Coming soon, I'll be making an adaptation episode of that, and I'm going to be doing an unboxing video of the Desire Driver toy. Be sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of that, and while you're down there, make sure you leave a comment letting me know what you thought of the first episode of Geats. I don't really like rewatching things, but I've rewatched this episode like 5 times. This is probably one of, if not my favorite first episodes of a tokusatsu show ever. All the marketing going into it made it seem like this was going to be a super unique season of Kamen Rider, and it totally delivered on that aspect. One of the big parts of this is that there's not really a villain faction. Obviously there are monsters, that's the whole plot of the episode, but unlike practically every season of the past decade, the faction is entirely mindless monsters. We never get a scene where we cut to 4 people in a little room planning on what new scheme to try out. Hell, we don't even get a special monster of the week. It's just foot soldiers and a big thing. It fits so perfectly into the theme of the season being a battle royale. We're starting off with an unprecedented amount of Kamen Riders, and instead of having them randomly fight each other despite a larger threat, they are each other's antagonist, and I find that so fascinating. It lets the main characters get all their time in the spotlight as well. Shiro and Buffa aren't in the episode for very long, but they're some of the only characters to have dialogue, so I feel like they already have a decent presence in the show. Or rather, had a presence. I really liked the 3 main characters though. Neon is just sorta there for now, which is perfectly fine. I appreciate they've at least set her up as a main character before she becomes a rider, and I do really like the YouTuber aspect of her character because, well, hi. And also because the actress herself is a YouTuber, so that's like a nice coincidence. I assume it's a coincidence, maybe it was planned. The balance between Ace and Keiwa as dual protagonists of the episode is definitely the intriguing standout to me. Keiwa is a lot like the main rider protagonists of the last few years. I like his introduction establishes he's just a wholesome guy who wants to help people out, but I also think it's interesting the other characters point out how vague he is. It definitely feels like a big development later on will be Keiwa finding some specific desire. I thought the scene where he broke down and began to question his entire existence was crazy. It was kind of intense for just episode 1, but the craziest part is that in any other show this would be the moment where he becomes a rider and saves the day, but he's not the main character. Instead, it's Ace, and I love how absolutely cocky his personality is. This dude's first interaction with the other characters is to hit on Neon, then be disappointed she has a boyfriend, and then find out that she's still single, and then just straight up ask her if he still has a chance. What a guy. It's been a while since we've gotten a pre-established primary rider, so it's nice to have another debut fight where our main character knows exactly what he's doing and kicks a ton of ass. But I also like that he's still kind of a nice guy as he tries to pick Keiwa up after his existential crisis. It's interesting he's just sort of teased throughout the episode, so we have Keiwa as our main protagonist and introduction to this world, but with Ace as our main character, we kind of already have another foot into this new universe. I'm just really excited to learn about this mysterious guy. It also helps with the world building, which I love in this episode. I was 100% absolutely definitely not expecting for the first episode of the show to be the end of the Desire Grand Prix. From the marketing, I figured that the competition would have started by now, and then our new characters would make their entry as Kamen Riders over time, but I couldn't have imagined that this first episode would be the last mission of a 6-month-long game that has already been going on. The show opens with this screen of like 33 Kamen Riders that all existed at some point and have all been booted from the game. And if you look closely, you can actually see that some of those riders have actual civilian and rider names. So like, I have no words. I love world building, so getting this volume of riders in one series off screen, just a bunch of names, it's still so crazy to me. The riders we do get in the the episode are portrayed in like a very mysterious light as well, so it kind of just adds to the gravity of the whole situation. Like there's something crazy going on with everything happening here. Getting to see someone be eliminated in real time adds a real consequence to all the Rider stuff happening. We may never again meet this first Rider we see in the show, and it sets this crazy precedent that no one is safe. And for a Battle Royale season, that's gonna be perfect. Since it's clear that the DGP just continues on, I'm really looking forward to how the story of the show is going to go. There's a very real possibility that multiple games can happen over the course of the show, and there's so many questions about it. Was this the first DGP? Does this repairing of the world happen at the end of each mission or at the end of each tournament? I actually really like this element, as it reminds me of SSSS Gridman, but also given how it worked in that anime and some of the imagery in this show, maybe this is all like a digital world run by this game master dude? I don't trust this main woman either. She's incredibly ominous. I'm 99% sure you can't trust any of these people working for the Desire Grand Prix. It makes Ace an even cooler character because he's already won a game. This is literally his world. I really wasn't expecting this to happen in episode 1, but I'm so crazy it is. I'm just deleting that whole line entirely. The concept is absolutely incredible, and it's definitely my favorite part of the show, especially its usage with the aesthetics. I know it hasn't been that long, but I think Saber's already been surpassed by Geats for my new favorite aesthetics in Kamen Rider, at least conceptually. This is the first season where in-universe, the faceplate items are treated as a different gimmick. This is the first season with a mix and match gimmick where you don't actually need a single gimmick to transform. This is the first season with a mix and match gimmick where the gimmicks can be placed anywhere on the belt, opening up so many possibilities. Our main rider's first transformation of the show is into this half-complete version of his base form. But before he actually goes into his full base form, he goes into an inverted version of a different half base form. And then the first time we ever hear the base form jingle of our main rider is when he goes into a version of the suit where his arms are legs and his legs are arms, and all he has to do is flip his driver, so then we now get the actual base form of the season. That is so cool. It also helps that the presentation of everything is terrific. The music is so unique, the fight scenes are beautifully dynamic, and the suits are very nice. And then it gets even better. The way the raised buckles factor into the story is like, I've never seen something like this. Because it's a battle royale game, these are all random items the characters can pick up while they're playing. And the show is actually going to be utilizing that concept. Boost is apparently some sort of special item that goes into hiding after a mission and needs to be found again. In the next episode, we see that Dapan is going to be using Magnum. So our primary rider's base form toy, the one he used for his first henshin of the show, is going to be used by just some random other character. And as a result, in episode 2 of the show, our primary rider is not going to be able to use his base form at all. What is happening? And then the rival character is also going to be using the primary's base form at some point, while Geats is going to debut said rival's gimmick as a pair of legs. And don't forget that there are even 2 types of buckles. Smaller buckles only grant generic weapons and a bit of armor, so we can actually have riders get in on the action with weapons, but they won't feel as powerful as other people with bigger buckles that fill out the driver, provide armor, and new toy weapons. And then there are little details like the eyes only changing color if a buckle's on top, or only the bigger buckles providing different eye colors, except Boost because it's special. These honestly don't even feel like toys. They seem like combat items in a game. Hell, they can even be used outside of the transformations. Our main characters that don't have their own personal buckle yet can still be Kamen Riders, but they're noticeably weaker than the riders with their own buckles or weapons, since you can still transform without any gimmicks. Hopefully, over time, we can actually tie the evolution of their characters into their transformations into true Kamen Riders. Before another character promptly steals that buckle and uses it as arms, legs, with a hammer, a shield, a zombie. There's so many possibilities. Even this stupid phone spider, which I was initially not going to buy because it's just a phone. They made it into a mobile scoreboard check for all the characters, is actually a cool part of the game and the plot and the story, and now I want it. I want it all. This is quite the start to a new world of Kamen Rider. I've already gone on long enough. By now, I'm sure you can believe me that this is the most excited I've ever been for a season of Kamen Rider and its toy line, and I just can't wait to experience it it with all of you. Remember to leave a comment letting me know what you're hoping to see in Kamen Rider Geats. Check out my Patreon for how you can see my upcoming videos early, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more tokusatsu content, and I hope to see you next game.